it feels a little messy because my question isn't necessarily clear. But two things touched me in the talk in the beginning of the day. One was three things. One was, as we get older, we can get grumpier. And that certainly isn't a desire I have. The second...
But it's logical, isn't it?
Because
the longer I live, the more things I can see in my physical world that I might want to shout no to. So the more things I see and shout no to, then the more resistance I cause and the grumpier I get.
Right. And the second one was that the longer we live, the more we have desire and the faster our stream can go. And that's what I desire, is a fast-moving stream that I am in alignment with.
Well, you see, you've already got the first part of it. The fast-moving stream is a given. In alignment with it is what the art of allowing is all about.
Right.
In other words, your stream was moving pretty fast before you even came into this body. And the longer you live, the faster it moves. And so you're in a good place here in a gathering like this to figure out how to lower your resistance and begin going with the flow. What subject do you want to apply it to?
So I think I am going with the flow. I think that's what I needed to come up to say, that I have a bumper sticker on my car that says, "How good can you stand it?" And the other thing that moved me was the story about Esther and the salad, and feeling her whole body shudder, and feeling that alive. And
you know how when you're listening to music and the music is just so good that you want to move to it, or you feel like it's moving within you? You know how when you're walking down the street and a child you don't even know fixates on you and smiles at you, and you feel like you're going to turn inside out? In other words, these kinds of feelings are what it feels like to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and living life. And that's the way you're supposed to feel. In other words, that is the way you naturally feel. And to the degree that you do not feel that good, then you got things that you're fussing and worrying about that you need to get over.
yes.
Not that you need to resolve, and not that you need to fix, but that you need to turn your attention from. And that's why we keep talking about this turning in the stream. That's what we'd like to do with you and with those who follow here now. We would like to begin demonstrating what turning and going with the flow, how it plays out relative to different scenarios, because that is the work, and it is such simple work that you don't do it.
Okay, so I will go with it. I will go with what turns me on. And what I'm finding...
Well, what we'd like to chat with you about is,
Okay.
because we can clearly feel that you have things that you want. We can feel that you've got a fast-moving stream. But we can also feel that you're not going with the flow as much as you'd like to say that you are going with the flow.
Okay.
In other words, you've got things that are bothering you. And so what is it that keeps you from feeling that outrageous joy through most of the day?
I feel like sometimes it feels so big, and it would be the things that it's messy, and the things that bring me joy
now,
for instance,
stop for just a moment,
okay.
because you say it's messy. Now, can you feel that that's an upstream?
Yeah.
So it's messy.
Yeah.
Now that's where you are. That was the thought you were focused upon, and that was the vibration in your being from which those words were spoken. So you are where you are. That's where you set into the stream.
Okay.
It's messy, you said. But now, as you stop and say, well, not everything's messy. A lot of things are not messy. I have clarity about a lot of things.
Right.
And so there are things that I do better on and things that I don't do so well on. Isn't that softening in the stream? In other words, didn't just reworking that and not calling it all messy, just calling some of it messy, didn't that soften resistance a little bit? And couldn't you take it further by saying, there are some things I really don't understand, which is upstream, but there are a lot of things I really do understand, and then take it further. My life is going pretty well, and I'm mostly pleased with what I got going on. And the longer you talk with the intention of letting go of those oars, then the better you get at letting go of those oars, until before you know it, it's not messy. The only thing that makes it messy is the running into those trees.
Right, right. I can feel that. An example of a heart's desire is something like being here, actually speaking with a group here, that I would want to be polished. I've been a writer and I've polished my writing, and that for a while was a desire to perfection and excellence and looking good. And now I really get a lot of thrill out of the messy, in a way, is what I'm trying to say, is maybe getting up in front of a group and fumbling and being real, and I'm probably not articulating it well.
Well, we think what you're reaching for is that you're coming to realize that you are where you are, and that everybody who is perceiving you in any point in time is perceiving you through their lens. And so no matter how polished you are or perfect by someone's standards, there's somebody else that's going to find you not where you ought to be. So when you are no longer gauging your success or failure by what those outside of you are acknowledging, and instead you're just concentrating on closing your own gap, then it's not messy. Jerry and Esther had a remarkable experience the other day. As we told you, they have 4 different navigational systems in their vehicles. And the newest one, which they find far superior to all of the other ones, is made by a company called Garmin. And they purchased a portable system and plugged it into their tow car. It is powered through the cigarette lighter. So the other day, as they were getting ready to drive the bus with the car being towed, Esther brought Garmin in and plugged it in to the bus also. And then she set the navigational system that's in the bus for their destination, and she programmed Garmin for their destination. And then she began driving, and Jerry went back to do whatever he does while she drives. And Esther is driving down the freeway, happy as she can be, and all of a sudden, Pioneer says, get in the right-hand lane and take I-75 north. And Garmin says, get in the left lane and take I-2. In other words, 2 different navigational systems in the same moment, giving her, and it was the authority with which they spoke their contradiction that was amusing to Esther. They both sounded so right. And now Jerry can hear chaos going on up there. And now he's getting the map, and Esther said, don't even start it. Because she could feel that she had no time to make this decision. In other words, the decision was upon her. She had 0.8 of a mile to decide at this speed, with all of this weight, what she was going to do, and she couldn't decide which lane to get in. And it's the way it is with so many of you, when this one's saying this, and this one's saying this, and this one's saying this, and this one's saying this. In other words, finally you have to realize that you must have some central guidance that you have learned to hear and learned to trust. Otherwise, you will have a messy, sort of chaotic experience. That's what we mean when we say there are a lot of well-meaning people who from their experience will say, well, I think you should do this. But they don't know. They can't possibly give you accurate guidance because, first of all, they don't know the energy stream that you rode in on. They don't know what your intentions were from source energy. They don't know what your life experience has caused you to put in your unique vibrational escrow. And they don't know what you're doing right now vibrationally. So no one knows what the mix of vibrations is that is going on within you. No one outside of you can accurately guide you. And when you are not clear about what the emotions within you mean, and you haven't practiced always reaching for the thought that gives you the greatest relief, then sometimes you're in that place where you just don't know what to do because there's no clear sense of what to do. Where as you begin to always reach for the thought that feels best, it becomes so clear what to do. And we would like to add one more thing to this story of these guidance systems. And we said this to Esther once she settled down a little bit. Just pick one and go with it. Just pick one. Because nothing can take you very far from your path, because there's constant guidance again and again and again and again and again and again and again. In other words, even with the navigational systems, they eventually regrouped and started telling her the same thing again. You see? And so you don't need to worry about being lost. Your navigational system never lets go of you. And it really doesn't matter where you are in relationship to where you want to be. There's always a way to get to where you want to be. And if you could relax with... so many of our physical friends have the attitude that there's this straight and narrow path, and that if I stray from it, then I will be lost forever. And that just can't be true, because your navigational system just picks you up from wherever you are and keeps calling you toward that which you have created already, you see. Good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.